I was on TikTok before.
Ah, that classic sound.
We're back to beating people with a bat. Billie
Yeah.
Eilish.
Yep.
And conspiracy theories on all the Marvel movies. That just
I hate those
mind-
guys. I really do. Every time they pop up, it's like, did you know?
The Spurs guys is the one that pisses me off the most.
Oh, the super dude he's so bad. He's so annoying.
He knows so much.
Oh,
There
yeah.
was one, I never forget it. I don't think it was him, it was somebody else. It was like it was one of those where it plays like the weird music and it's like like questioning, and it was showing a scene from Daredevil where he's drinking a cup of coffee and it's like the classic blue cup with the pyramid with the columns on it, and then the same cup, it's the same cup that MJ gives him at the end of Spider-Man, and he's like, is there a connection? I'm like, it's just the New York, that's just the cup, that's just the cup they give you. I don't know
That's
how people
cup
don't know this.
guy.
That's just the generic cup.
Clearly, there's a connection, Vincent. God, pay attention.
My Beatty cards just came in today. Nice.
They'll be extremely useful when he starts playing for somebody who's good.
Yeah.
Can't wait till they trade him away.
Yeah, I can't wait till he gets traded to the Angels.
And I didn't realize his first Bowman card was Chrome, so I'm very happy about
Fancy. I've always liked the look of those. Yeah,
I'm sure some Angels fan will appreciate it.
I'm sure. The Angels fans are gonna love their Jet Williams cards and Kevin Parada cards and Brett Beatty
that.
cards.
Who's Carlos Cortez?
That
2018.
Carlos Quinton? Never heard of him.
No. It's Peterson.
Peterson,
Him.
Carlos Cortez. I never heard that name before. Now I gotta look it up.
Carlos Cortez, baseball player.
Okay, well I knew that.
Third round of 2018.
Looks like he's hanging out in the minors forever.
Yep.
Well, he was drafted in the third round. We traded all of our first and second round picks, so he
So he was the
survived.
first pick. Yes, makes sense.
So he survived. Looks he went to South Carolina and he's in Syracuse right now. He's the one person at Syracuse that doesn't hit well.
Or just the one guy in Syracuse nobody talks about.
Well, he has like a 600 OPS, so it's not great.
It was literally like fucking draft day. Everybody just traded around in circles.
What do you think is the more bizarre trade in draft day? The 3 seconds for the first or the 3 firsts for the first overall?
3 seconds for the
It's
first
gotta
one.
be, right?
Yeah, you got a first round pick back.
For 3 seconds. Like,
Yeah.
Dave
That was
Biddle-
where the movie lost me, really.
that was where it lost you?
That's
Yeah.
where I lost you then.
That was it.
So Will Levis is the quarterback from that movie.
Is he?
No.
It says it seems like it.
Does it seem like it? I don't know. All I saw was Will Levis didn't get drafted,
And had 25 chicks with him.
and he thought that people thought his girlfriend changed, but one of them was his sister. I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Well, the funniest was Vanessa's dad smacking his girlfriend's ass on national TV 3 times.
Wait.
You didn't see that?
I didn't. But didn't that happen like before? Like not before. Didn't that happen with somebody else?
No, it was well, maybe. But it
Something
was
like
CD
this
Lamb.
happened.
It was CD Lamb snatching his phone from his chick.
No, something like this happened at a game or something.
I don't recall.
It was like it wasn't a draft thing. It was like a in the crowd dad girlfriend thing that was weird.
Not
No, I
ringing a
didn't
bell.
see the Van Ness thing. I honestly did not know who the man was until the day of the draft when all the Packer reporters were like, "Yeah, you know."
Yeah, because I was weird like that. Like
Right.
he's their best player and he can't start because he's not a
Right.
high enough grade class.
Right. And after months of everybody saying that they're taking one of the tight ends or JSN, it was just like, no, they're gonna take a tackle or an edge, which is like they always do because they're important positions. And that's it. Okay, well, that's great.
The only thing that's more consistent than the Packers not taking a skill player in the first round is Howie Roseman not taking a running back in the first round. Or was it a running back? There's some sort of crazy. It was like a running back or tight end that he's never taken in the first round.
Oh, makes
Probably
sense.
tight end.
Because remember he drafted Jalen Reagor.
That pissed them off since.
Isn't it funny that like
they have
it was
not
like that
messed
2
up
years
since.
where can you imagine what this team would have been like if they didn't demote him for Chip Kelly?
Yeah.
We should talk about this on the show.
Yeah.
Let's.
Episode 357 of the Sndpodcast show, and Vin's first ever episode with Jordan Love as his official starting quarterback.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not like an injury replacement, like
no injuries, COVID.
Contract extension and everything.
Yeah, which was weird, but I'm glad they did it. Because that was one of my biggest issues, was that they were they had put themselves in the position on purpose that like the Giants were in kind of by accident last year. That was like, you have 1 year to figure out this quarterback and that's it. So good luck. And now they have 2 years to figure out the quarterback at a reasonable price, but also a guaranteed price for him from his perspective.
But he's also making less money at the moment now.
He's making less money.
But which is at the end of the day smart because he'd rather have that year safety harness.
I think the option, like they weren't gonna pick it up if he didn't sign this extension. I don't think.
Right. No,
and then you're left with a dead duck, and that's it.
The positives to Love is he's been in the system for X amount of years. He's studied with one of the greatest quarterbacks. 3. He studied with one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Now it's time for him to actually know that it's his time to shine. And that division is obviously winnable.
Very.
So, hey, time is now. You guys still end up having a better record than the Jets, and that will be the funniest thing in the world.
Are we laughing at the point that the Vikings didn't even consider the next guy behind Cousins at this point?
Is he on his last year?
Yeah, he's on his last year.
But one of those later round guys would have been.
Yeah, this was the biggest quarterback draft class of almost all time. I think there was 11. I heard someone say.
Hold on, actually
11 taken.
Right. I actually have the 11. Yeah. 14 total.
14 taken. Sorry, yeah.
I mean, I can't. And it's the only reason I'm laughing at this. The Packers took a guy in the 5th round, the Penn State guy, that
Clifford, yeah,
stinks. And nobody likes, and they were like, yeah, he wasn't going to get drafted if you didn't draft him.
Yeah, it's all because of Brock Purdy. Everybody's like, oh, Brock Purdy is whatever.
Right, it's one of those you never know.
The problem with the you never know, you're right, you do never know. He's kind of slated to be the backup. They haven't at this moment signed a random veteran that would be your normal backup.
Who, in Minnesota? We're talking Minnesota.
Who?
Oh, we're talking
I'm talking about the Packers. I jumped to the Packers quick because they were talking Packers. Talking about that guy. The Vikings didn't take anybody, I don't think.
No, they didn't. They probably waiting for the better quarterback class next year, probably.
I don't know.
Yeah. Right now they have Sean Clifford as the 2 on our lads. Listen, what they're thinking is, hey, if we're that bad, bingo, we'll get a quarterback next year in the draft. If we're that good and we're a quarterback away, Cousins leaving,
They're always going to be. I don't know.
That was a good move by them picking up Addison in the first round. So
Gives them another weapon.
Yeah, it's just.
But you also knew they were doing that when they cut Thielen. They were going to look for
Right.
some sort of
Right.
other side of the ball.
Kirk is the constant, just good enough, just not good enough. He's what Matt Ryan used to be the line there, and now he's kind of the line where it's like,
right,
everything's perfect. Sure.
That's who the Packers are going to bring in. Matty Ice. Beginning of
Honestly,
October.
any person to be the backup, I'd be okay with.
What game did he play this year?
Love?
Love.
Oh.
Or was it 2 years ago? That Sunday night game.
He started. No, so he started a game 2 years ago,
right,
against the Chiefs because Rogers.
That's right. That's right.
Last year he played.
And they played not bad, if I remember.
He played. He didn't play great. He outplayed Pat, which Pat was in his slump. They lost like 10-7. Yeah.
Right,
why is Gino a free agent? He's actually not.
Can you zoom in more, if it's possible?
On the second row, the last person.
Matt Flynn, baby.
Fucking do it. He played last year, Danny. You're right. The second half against Philly, Sunday Night Football, and he played if he was gonna have the equivalent that the talk about with Rodgers for the Dallas game, that was it. He played well, made his reads. He threw a touchdown pass, but it was a crossing route that Christian Watson outran everybody and scored a touchdown. It's and he didn't look out of place. So
that was the only way you were gonna. That was the only way you were gonna beat the Eagles last year
right.
as well. So.
But
there you go. There's a better list for you, Vin.
It was 38-10 or something when he came in. It was. They were not in their normal defense. I would be okay with Teddy. I've always liked him, but I feel like the Dolphins.
Flacco's your perfect.
No, I don't get that.
Mentor. Chase Daniels.
Chase Daniels is the name that always comes to mind. He's the generic guy.
He'll be back in the Chargers.
I probably.
Either the Chargers or he'll be a Saint backup again.
Sure. Mason Rudolph even has.
I
don't think he has upside, but
isn't
he's
Jameis there? So he probably wouldn't.
Where?
Well, who's the starter? Isn't Jameis the starter?
No, Carr.
Oh,
yeah, Carr is on the Saints now. Which I was thinking about this the other day. I meant to bring this up, but we couldn't do a show last week. One, he's the best quarterback in that division.
Carr?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not even close.
Yeah, because you got Baker, you got
Chase.
Not
Chase. Bryce. Sorry, I said
Bryce.
Chase. I said it's Bryce. Yeah, went to the Panthers.
Oh yeah, Bryce.
I was gonna say Chase Young instead of whatever Bryce Love. I don't know.
Reisner, right? Risner.
Yeah.
Ritter.
Desmond Ritter for the Falcons.
Sorry, I had to wake up my head.
Same. How far? I'm giving you a draft. We're drafting the quarterbacks in the NFC. Where does Carr go? Is it 2? Jalen goes 1, right? I think that's
top 3 because I think Dak is better than Carr.
Okay, that was the only. But
Dak has better options around him.
Right, but I'm talking about
Carr.
just the person.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
You're talking fantasy football wise. Who you drafting?
I'm not talking fantasy. I'm talking you're starting a team that's only going to play this season, and you could pick from all the quarterbacks in the NFC. You're picking Jalen 1. You're the conversation for number 2 is Dak, Kirk Cousins, and Carr. So it's the quarterbacks in the NFC.
You can argue. There's an argument. Goff. He's a safety pick there.
Even Goff.
The
NFC quarterbacks
behind Jalen. There's a big gap between Jalen and what's next.
And then if you're doing this draft with all of the quarterbacks in the league, how far do you go in the AFC? Again, outside of Jalen, before you get another NFC quarter, it's it might be 10 guys.
Yeah, we were actually talking about this last night on my Rush show. It's NFC is brutal.
Yeah. So for us, for the teams we root for, it's
You have a
wide the
chance.
hell open.
Yeah.
So here, I'm gonna read off a list for you guys right here. So you got Lamar, Josh Allen, Burrow, Watson, Russell Wilson,
I'm taking
S-
Russell Wilson out of this conversation.
CJ in Houston, Anthony Richardson starts in Indianapolis. They won.
Okay.
Trevor in Jacksonville,
5,
Mahomes,
6.
Jimmy G in Vegas,
I don't think so.
He would be fit right in with the NFC, which we.
Yeah, exactly.
Herbert,
7.
Tua,
He's in that category. He would be.
He's in the category with Carr and Cousins and Dak.
Mac, Aaron, Pickett.
Pickett would be in the conversation
Is a
too.
toss-up in Tennessee.
People don't like Pickett. I don't understand why.
I didn't watch enough of him.
He played well enough at the second half.
If we're counting Rodgers, that's probably 8 guys. You throw Jalen in the mix. That's 9 guys that are better than anybody.
Okay,
that the other 15
in the
teams
NFC,
in the NFC had.
It's Ritter, Murray.
Yeah, you can't.
Murray's hurt though. So.
Murray, you don't even know what the heck you're getting.
Justin Fields.
Again, I don't think he can throw the ball. He could run like hell.
Goff, Dak, Goff, or Hooker. You don't know yet in Detroit.
Jordan he also has a knee, so it's going to be Goff's year, and then he's gone.
Stafford.
Again,
what am I getting? Bounce back. Cousins, of course. Carr, DJ. 49ers is Purdy and Lance. Seahawks is Geno.
Like, if you said DJ is a top 5 NFC quarterback, people are still going to look at you funny, but it really,
realistically,
I'm not kidding. Like, okay.
And then you got Trask and Baker in Tampa.
It's going to be Baker.
That's not.
And you got Sam Howell and Jacoby Brissett down in Washington.
I would like to see how Hal does because I liked him in college.
Let him play. Like, he played well the game that he played last year at the end of the year.
If
people think he's gonna play.
If we're ranking the NFC quarterbacks, I think DJ's in the conversation for 5. Like it's Jalen, it's Dak, it's
Thank God for the running
ability. Carr, and then he's in the conversation with Geno and Goff.
Geno and Daniel Jones and Goff are just jockeying for the 5th spot,
which is insane.
But I always liked Goff. It was just
those three.
He wasn't going to get
guys,
the Rams over the hump.
Well, he also had a crazy good season last year.
Those 3 guys are the 3 guys that you're like, if they were in your quarterback room going into the camp, you're loving your opportunity at quarterback because you're going to trade one of them going into the season, and then you're going to have 2 really solid quarterbacks on your team.
Well, yeah.
As long as the pieces are around them, the system works. You know, a lot of factors play into it, but if those 3 are the 3 that you said, hey, these are your 3 quarterbacks for the season.
Right.
Figure it out in camp, trade 1 and keep 2.
But those guys are all 13 to 18 in overall. Like, it's like they're right smack dab in the middle. They're not great. They're not bad. If they don't make too much money and you have a good defense, you can win 10 games.
And
that's exactly what
and if you get hot, you can make a run.
Right. It's what the Seahawks did. It's what the Giants did. The Lions almost did it. Like, it happened for all 3 of those guys. And
I mean, the Lions just cut half their team for gambling, but hey.
Well.
I like how they talked about gambling and it was presented by FanDuel.
This gambling stuff is nonsense. Well, let's talk. I mean, we're on the draft a little bit.
He forgot to mute.
He turned the screen off.
I had to mute on the thing.
I know. I do it all the time.
I thought I hit the mute on the mic, not the. I thought I hit on the.
Gotcha.
I didn't know I had to hit on the screen too.
What? The Giants draft.
Home run. The first 3 at least.
That's what we think.
I mean, the center nobody thought would be there.
Yeah, all 3 were projected to go at 25. So.
I mean, step 1, not reaching for a wide receiver because wide receivers were coming off the board was huge.
Yeah.
Wide receiver. It was not a great receiver draft in general either, outside of JSN.
Fun fact: 33 wide receivers drafted in this draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but the first one went 20. Usually you get that receiver run late
And
10.
the one the Giants got undrafted from West Virginia, I don't know why he didn't get I don't know why he didn't get drafted, but
I'm still trying to figure out why Hyatt got dropped to the third round.
yeah.
Wasn't he like a Heisman hopeful at one point?
Well,
last
he
year?
wasn't a Heisman hopeful. He won the best wide receiver award.
But I feel like he was like
Well, maybe
talked about mid-season. He was talked about, but once
Maybe.
Hooker's knee blew out,
yeah,
kind of changed everything.
It was more so Hooker, but it was because he had 5 touchdowns against Bama.
Right. That was where the name started coming up. Yeah. But like still like third round? Like,
yeah, it's pretty nuts. And I'm
when I got
happy
the alert that we drafted him in the third round, I'm like, this guy's still there.
Yeah. You even text me from the Islander game. I was like, yeah, that was fun because that was the part of the draft show when I had Snacks and other people. And I was literally looking up at the screen and the Giants' name was like up next. So I was like, up next, because we had like 15 picks before they were coming. Good thing I like looked up. I'm like, we just made a trade.
Listen, people say the Giants trades in the draft are like ugly trades and you're giving up things and you're giving up this. I mean, you're not giving up 5th and 7th round picks. You're not giving up that much. Plus, they're easy to get back if you need them.
Exactly.
If you feel like there's a guy on the board, all you got to do is trade a 7th next year. You're getting a 5th.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like.
And we had 10 picks to play with. So if it was a year to do it, it was this year, like I've been saying. So.
Yeah.
I thought it was a very good move, and then today, Friday, if you're listening to this on podcast, Dexter Lawrence, the big man got extended, so that's obviously huge. And that was $22.5 million, and that was a little bit under Simmons, and it was basically
I think he's the 4th ranked. I think I read it was 4th ranked defensive.
It was the same as Payne, so all the big contracts, he's right there. So.
What are we at cap implication wise?
Nothing came out yet.
Duggan said between 4 to 6 million relief.
Okay.
And then you got to figure there's still conversations with Leonard Williams of, hey, how much can we give you right now to take it off the cap?
And Shane was on Good Morning Football today, and they talked up Saquon. So hopefully any day now.
So it was interesting to see Duggan also respond to somebody of what's next, and his response was Andrew Thomas, who they picked up the fifth-year option.
Yeah, that was the easiest fifth-year option of all time.
The Packers couldn't even decide on their quarterback, and here we are, just be like, here you go, don't even worry, buddy.
Yeah, I mean,
you guaranteed money to your quarterback.
Real convenient when you get to play a guy because you weren't held hostage by another left tackle. What is Saquon's situation?
He has to sign the tag. He wants to.
He doesn't want to make $10 million a year. He wants to make $15 to $20 million a year.
And if those rumors were true, he should have said yes in the middle of the season.
Did he sign the tag?
No, he has till July.
Okay, so he just
he's not playing on the tag.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, the other interesting
he is their property, so they would get whatever compensation back if somebody.
Yeah, he has the tag. That would be 2 firsts. Obviously, no one.
Right, or if they want to trade him, they can do that. Okay.
Which I found interesting. A couple of friends of mine who were Jet fans were like, I would have given up 2 firsts for 5 years of Lamar over 2 firsts for Rodgers. Because think about this. So talk about this trade a little bit. What?
It's only one.
Well, they swapped the first, so it really looks worse than.
To me, that was always
next year's
part of
one,
the deal.
though. Next year's 2 becomes a 1 once he plays half the season.
Well, that's the thing.
But what if he retires at the end of the year? Then you're losing a first-round pick for a guy
Well, that's what I'm saying. There was a big thing where it's like, okay, it's gonna be a possible first next year if he plays. He can't decide if he's playing before next April. Like, I know
which
him.
This is why if he plays 65% this year,
so it's this year.
First next year.
It doesn't matter. I don't give a shit what he does.
So you're like, let him get hurt, let him retire in the middle of the year, play 65%, and give me 2 first-round picks next year.
That's it. And even if next year's first-round pick is fucking 27, I don't care.
Listen, he may not get any playing time this year. You heard Zach Wilson. He's going to make the veteran quarterback they bring in his life hell.
We haven't had a show since this happened, and it's now that it's officially over. You guys,
is it relief? Be honest. Is it like relief?
Complete relief that it's actually.
It has to be.
Yeah, it sucks a little bit.
It's funny because he's been at every Garden event,
and it's such.
Oh my God, we were at the hockey game last week. The Jet third string offensive line has been at every playoff game
Yeah,
again, like they were a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So Devin and I were like waiting for the game to start, and we're like, "Yo, this place would explode if Rodgers is just chilling in the in Ledecky's suite. It'll be like Clemens in George's suite,
Right.
just chilling. Like the roof would blow off the place. The next night, he's at the Ranger game at the Garden.
Of course he is. There's a lot here.
Yeah,
the funniest is Sauce not knowing who Jessica Alba is.
He didn't know who half the people were, apparently.
What the fuck is Sauce doing?
Did you hear what he said? He was like, yeah, Rodgers just kept pointing at people and going,
Jerry
hey,
Ferraro
do you know who
was
that
talking
is?
his ear
hey,
off.
do you know who that is? Hey, do you know
Schmidt
who that
from New Girl was there next to them.
Jerry Ferraro and
Nicole had a good laugh. Nicole had a good laugh that because they had like half a Schmidt. Okay. Nicole goes, "Oh, poor Schmidt, not getting any love."
And they had the kid from what's his name? Noah from Stranger Things, who's taking videos of Rodgers on the screen.
Yeah.
He's at every Garden event too.
This is all shit. Like I get it's new, right? He's here. He's trying to ingratiate himself with the city, whatever. I get that. And he was at Wisconsin, like he was fucking part owner.
Yeah, he was at every Bucks game.
Yeah, he's at. I mean.
And he was never a hockey guy. There's no hockey there. So it's not like he was just going to pick a team. He said, oh, Madison Square Garden. I know that building. Let me go there.
There's nothing in Wisconsin. No. There's nothing. I mean, he could have gone to like fucking Red Wings games, I guess.
Or the Badgers.
Badger.
That kind of shit. But like, the thing there's a few things that have annoyed people. One, and we talked about this in our group chat already. I brought it up. It's the same thing. People are complaining. People complain. They don't get any weapons. They don't get any weapons. They don't get any weapons. There's no
weapons.
There's no wish list, and it's the same fucking weapons. So like, I don't know.
Garrett Wilson's the only difference in the weapon.
Yeah, and again, I said this is what I said. Garrett Wilson is not now, or probably ever, will be better than Devontae Adams was the last 4 years winning Green Bay. So it's worse weapons. It just is. Running backs are basically the same. Aaron Jones is just as good as Breece Hall. And in the other thing that has annoyed it's annoyed me and it's annoyed Packer fans is that he's at OTAs. He hasn't been at these things in 3 years.
Well, he has no choice.
Fairness. It's a little different.
Danny, what did they do last year?
I know.
They drafted a bunch of receivers. What would have been great if Christian Watson had an extra month and a half with him.
We had that talk last year.
It's like it might as well have been new weapons. They did everything they could outside of just having Cobb. It was just Cobb and Mercedes Lewis were the only people that he knew on the team last year. I mean, I guess Lazard was there too. But like they took away all the things and they were like, you have to learn. Nope. He also
it was a comfortable relationship. This is a new one. I want to make
the comfortable thing was also the problem with like going out. If he were to go to a game, it's Bakhtiari, it's Cobb, it's Devontae.
That's why you brought Cobb here so he can have someone to hang out with. He would never have
gone to a Bucks game with Jair Alexander in a million years.
And that's why
he's everywhere with fucking Sauce.
That's why they signed Cobb, because he hated being at the game with Lazard.
He doesn't want to be at a game with Sauce. He has no choice. So they're like, get me Cobb, get Bakhtiari over here because I'm bored. I'm glad it's over because he's just annoying the hell out of me now. And that's I don't want to say that I'm excited for the first time in a while for a season because I'm always excited when I knew they were going to be good. I'm more interested in this season than I have been in a long time because you can look at their offense right now. There are outside of the offensive line, it's just Aaron Jones as a veteran. Everybody, it's Watson, it's Dobbs, the guy they drafted last year. It's the brand new tight ends. So it's basically just this young group that is going to hope to learn together, and that's it. So I'm interested to see how it goes. I'm optimistic. The guys they drafted like a classic tight end in the third round. They drafted another tight end in the second round, who's more of a pass catching tight end. Yeah, he's more of a slot receiver tight end. He's not really a blocker. The other guy is a legit blocker, and they've run a lot of two tight end stuff when it was Tunyon and Mercedes Lewis. So like it's kind of the same setup where like a blocker and a not blocker, and
nothing's really going to change except for the name on the quarterback.
No, I mean, things are going to change. They're going to run more stuff that he wants to run. That's the thing I'm interested in. He can take all the shit that Rodgers wanted and was comfortable with and throw it in the garbage and just
Right.
do
It's now
shit.
his team.
That's it. It's jet motions. They had taken like almost all the motion out of the offense last year, which is what this fucking offense is built on. Because he doesn't like the motion. He likes tempo. He wants to get up to the line, West Coast offense, yada yada yada. He doesn't. I don't know. He was the offense he was brought up in. It's not about matchups. It's about space. So they want to get scheme guys open instead of them getting open. It should, in theory, work, but it's like for the first time in 30 years, I have to figure out if I have a good coach because I don't know.
This is it.
This is it. I said the same thing about McCarthy, and I still to this day I'm not sure if he's a good coach or not. It's just
here it is. Is it going to be back-to-back 20th overall quarterbacks drafted by the Packers to take them to the promised land?
I mean, they just trade Jordan Love to the Jets in 2035.
It's already been rumored. It's already started being rumored. It's okay.
I'm ready for it.
Well, Favre wasn't drafted by the Packers.
That's a good point,
Yeah,
but they did trade a first-round pick for him.
Fair enough.
2 Super Bowls. Jordan Love's going to win 3 Super Bowls for the Packers, and you're going to be like, these guys couldn't even win me 2.
I want Jordan Love to be like Alex Smith level and win 3 Super Bowls to throw at the other two's face. Just be like the mediocre guy won all the Super Bowls, and you two couldn't.
The world would end with a Packer Jet Super Bowl this year.
Oh my,
Go Packers.
Please. Honestly,
go Pack, go.
The Jets
world
defense,
would literally end.
The Jets defense he had last year, because I looked at this, they gave up it was like 18 points per game, and obviously that was a very good defense. The only time they had a defense close was in 2010 when they won the Super Bowl. So yeah, I mean it's possible, but when he gets control, things go awry. So at some point it's going to happen. Anyway,
It's not going to happen.
I know it's going to happen that he's the reason they lose, unfortunately.
And then you're going to give up another first-round pick. The Jets are going to have first overall next year. You're going to take a quarterback, sit on the bench for a year while Rodgers wins the Super Bowl.
If the Jets get Caleb Williams, that'd be a problem.
Is that the number 1 guy next year?
Yeah.
That's a USC dude.
USC/Oklahoma.
Last 3 other spots because you're allowed to transfer every year now.
Well, yeah. Well, he went with Lincoln Riley.
He was there last year, right?
Yeah.
Right now, Walter Football has Tampa Bay with the first overall pick.
They're going to be that bad?
Tampa, Tennessee, Arizona.
Arizona.
Apparently, Arizona has 2 top 5 picks next year.
Why?
Well, one of the trades this year and their regular trade.
What did they trade this year that I don't remember?
They swapped first, and there was more to that pick with Houston. Remember, Houston moved up to 3. Houston traded its first and 4th in exchange for their first and 2nd and next year's first and 3rd.
Okay, right.
So
Did they
both of Houston's picks?
Trade D-Hop?
No.
Not yet.
I would have thought that would have happened to get a pick in that draft.
Nope. Nobody wants. The asking price was a 1.
He might be that June 1st cut.
That would be great.
He's not going to sign with the freaking.
He's not going to sign with the Packers, but
that'd be fun sweepstakes for that week.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I don't know where we land.
Yeah, he made an Instagram video. See, I'm still here. Who said I ever wanted to leave?
I mean, come on.
So he has cut before June 1st is $22 million. Cut after or traded after is 11 for the cap for dead cap.
Okay, so
for this year or next year, so it's like a $20 million savings
if they cut him after June 1st.
If they cut him after June 1st.
Okay, so he's going to get cut after June 1st, or traded after because the trade's the same.
Yeah,
thing.
Trade's
so
the same thing.
I forgot to ask, how bad is the Packers cap now with the dead cap now that Rodgers is gone?
So it changed. No, they changed the contract.
They reworked it to eat everything they're going to eat this year.
The Cowboys have the Packers have $57 million in dead cap this season.
What about next year? Nothing, right?
Doesn't say anything on next season. Only says for this year on here. 2024 update.
It basically saved them nothing this year.
Yeah, it doesn't really say anything for next year yet.
But yeah, his cap number this year is 40. Yeah, it's 40 in dead money for just him. Next year they don't. It doesn't really have a list, but I think they moved it so that everything would be this year. Like that's what the
Is there anybody you don't have on your dead cap list? Jesus Christ.
well, that's. I mean,
I don't even know who half these guys are.
They kicked the can down the road while he was still here. Just keep pushing the money and pushing the money and pushing the money, and now the check's here. So that's why they didn't sign anybody in free agency or trade for anybody. We're just throwing it into the wind. There's basically, I mean, going to be as young as possible. Somebody tweeted the other day. They have like 4 guys that are over, I think, 28. It's like Preston Smith, Devondre Campbell, the punter, and somebody else. Like Mason Crosby's gone. He's a free agent at the moment. And they drafted a kicker who apparently stinks, but whatever. So he's probably won't be back.
Player on the team right now, Pat O'Donnell at 32.
32 is the oldest player on the team. So
Atari's 31, Smith is 30, Campbell's 29, Wilson 28.
I think they're just going to eat it this year, try to be as good as they can with these young guys and grow this crew together. Hope they win like 6 or 7 games and get, grow a little more next year when they have, the money is off. And hopefully the cap goes up, which it should.
Reports are that the I forgot what I was going to say. Never mind. Oh, they're still going to be better than the Bears.
I don't doubt that.
Yeah, they're like another year away. You guys want to talk about playoffs quickly?
They literally did nothing.
Because I got to wrap up for 9 o'clock.
Playoffs.
Yeah. Danny,
listen, we didn't expect to win.
Why are there so many days off between games?
Because the NBA likes to do it. It makes no sense. It's rather annoying.
Didn't they say that they were going to bring back the every other day thing?
Okay, they sort of did it.
No, yeah, the Lakers and Warriors are playing tonight.
They're not playing.
I don't know why the Knicks and.
Do you guys want to hear this fun fact about the difference between the Laker Warrior and the Knicks and Miami Heat series?
Sure.
Secondary market, cheapest seat to get into whatever it's called, Crypto Arena, for Game 3. $500.
Game 2 was like $4 at the Garden.
Okay. Game 3 in Miami. Cheapest ticket, $160.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
My friend Cranky's going to Game 3.
You got a friend named
Like
Cranky?
It would cost you less to fly to Miami.
What is that? You Kramer?
Yeah, he took Snacks to the Knick game, Game 2 the other night.
Literally,
no, Snacks is the Cranky one.
It literally, you can go down.
Believe it or not, Cranky's he fits the billing for that name.
You can actually fly down to Miami, go to the Knick Heat game, and fly back for less money than it would cost you to get in the building in Los
This
Angeles.
Laker Warriors series is probably the last time these two are going to see each other. After all this, I mean, maybe not. But after all the history they have together.
The possibility is there.
Listen, I have a better question for you. What's with the Florida Panthers? And when did they become good?
And
why are we getting a Panthers-Kraken Stanley Cup Finals?
This is going to sound crazy, but outside of Connor McDavid, I think I would take Matthew Tkachuk over any player in the league right now. He is just...
He's an all-around good player.
Crazy, yes. And the Leafs just like to fold in on themselves. They were up 2-0, and now it's 3-2.
They won their series. They don't have to win now.
Well, that's the problem.
Florida
Like,
just took a really stupid penalty though.
they won their series, and then they took the foot off the gas, and they got blown out the other day.
Well, they were expecting that. They did what Boston did. They expected Florida to just be a wash.
I am shocked, honestly, at how easily the Knicks won the first round series.
I'm
to
not.
begin.
No, they hit their shots. It was exactly how the Knicks Hulk series was 2 years ago.
But the Knicks are the Hawks
opposite
in this scenario. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I know, but like the Cavs were supposed to be more competitive than that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm scared about Jimmy Butler though, because if he comes back,
7 days off between games.
Yeah,
of course he's going to be back.
Disaster. He's a monster.
The Knicks would have lost if Jimmy Butler played.
Can you imagine if they realized he was hurt in game one? How good they may have actually
Jimmy
came back
Butler is like an enigma. I don't know what to think.
And can we put more respect to Spoelstra's name on being one of the greatest coaches?
He
needs to be up there.
The fact that he's still there, in general, is he
deserves a lot of really bad years.
Pat really loves him.
Pat's really a loyal guy. If you really look at Pat, like can Pat go down as one of like the best like? Isn't he owner? He's the owner?
No, he's like the president.
He's the president, yeah.
But can he go down as probably one of the best presidents?
Oh, he's a basketball Hall of Famer. Yeah.
Oh,
coach, president,
player. Yeah, he's everything. Coach, president, player.
No, but yeah, I mean, Spoelstra got
because the way they adjusted in game one, and for whatever reason, between the Knicks not hitting shots and the Knicks not adjusting to that was crazy to me.
And the fact that they just had Jimmy Butler on one leg standing in a corner and nobody decided to, go at him on offense.
Yeah.
I don't know when they hired him exactly, but it was probably
it would have to be around 2010.
It was right before.
No, it was before
three,
that.
Right?
He was wasn't he the 06?
He was the coach when they got there.
No, he was an assistant coach from 97 through 2008. 2008 was his first year.
He's been an assistant.
Absolutely not.
97? Wow.
How the fuck old is he?
He looks good.
Whatever old he looks great.
Yeah.
He looks
assistant
like
coach 97,
32.
He's 52
he
years
was
old.
So he was Pat Riley's assistant then.
Okay.
52 years old.
So he was the coach for 2 years with just D Wade.
Man, that Miami Sun does wonders, man.
And then he's just been the head coach. We're going on 15 years now?
Yeah, he was basically Wade's assistant coach. And Riley said, "Who do you want to be your coach now?" And he said,
"Well, there's still, I mean, like right there, there's 2 years before LeBron that they don't make the playoffs, but."
Well, you don't know that because he was the assistant coach. Oh,
no, I'm saying right there, 08, 09, and 9, 10. LeBron's not there because LeBron those 4 years.
Well, no, they're in the playoffs. Because over here, there's 429 and 200.
Playoffs.
That's playoff records.
So they just lost in the first round. Okay.
He missed the playoffs 1, 2, 3 times as a head coach.
That's impressive, especially when they gutted him.
It's the Heat. The LeBron's coaches
just 601 winning percentage in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And a 589 winning percentage.
You imagine if they didn't choke against the Mavs?
Oh. I mean, I'm glad they did.
Oh, yeah. Looking back on it, I'm glad.
I kind of wish they did for the Thunder also. Maybe OKC would actually still be relevant.
If they don't choke against the Mavs, they might have 4 championships. They might not lose the last one. I mean, the last one was against the Spurs, wasn't it?
They didn't lose didn't the Spurs win the first year and then the Spurs lost the second year?
I forget the order.
Definitely the first one they lost to the Mavs.
Yeah, then they didn't lose again.
Then they won 2. You had it right there. They won 2 against the Thunder.
And the Spurs.
And the Spurs. And then
Allen made that jump shot.
Right. And then I think the Spurs.
That was Mike Breen's greatest bang call.
Beat them the last year. Maybe.
I feel like that's
that would probably be Breen's greatest bang
13.
call or
6, 12, and 13
bang call.
Yeah, the Kyrie one.
It was funny because I was watching game 1 and I was like, why is Mike Breen not calling this game? And then they advertised game 7 from Sacramento. I was like, well, Mike Breen's in Sacramento.
Yeah. That was an awkward feeling when they had the main ABC ESPN guys with the Knicks. And it was the first round, so it was MSG. I'm like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah.
I want to watch MSG.
Yeah, but that's the same thing. Like Brendan Burke literally
Right.
called 3 clinchers 3 days in a row,
Yeah,
including 2 Game 7s, and it's like, all right, that's pretty awesome.
I fucking hate hockey. Yeah, so I mean, if Jimmy
Whatever,
can't play,
it's football season.
the
Fuck
next
everything
no,
else.
I mean, yeah, it
Football
is fuck
Baseball's-
everything else. Before Danny
fucking
before Danny goes, well, I have to bring up the Mets because
Yeah.
Danny. We had this conversation very quickly earlier today. I don't know what it is. There's just something off. It's a
Yeah.
feel. I was talking about my dad. He was like, "What's your read?" And I was like, "There's just."
They're
It's
lucky
bad
it's May, but they
vibes.
don't have a good vibe.
I don't know what
Have you guys ever noticed?
There isn't that vibe we had last year.
No, like Buck's making stupid decisions. And
Oh, I didn't text you why Nimmo said he attempted the stolen base.
what did he
was
say?
because
What did
the guy
fucking
has
idiot
a
say?
very slow
I
delivery,
don't.
Why did he
and
get
he
thrown
did not
out?
want to get into a double play with Marte. That was his logic.
Okay, so his logic. Okay,
And he said the number.
I'm ready
I
to
didn't know
go.
the number.
I'm ready to go here. If Starling Marte is not healthy because he slid into home and his neck hurts or he can't run, put him on the DL. The guy in the minors has 1,000 OPS. It makes no sense. Let him not play for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks, and let Mark Vientos come up.
The biggest scare is Scherzer, honestly.
I think he'll bounce back.
I think so
that was a
too,
weird week. He was prepared to pitch Monday,
The
and then you get
problem
all the
with
rain
that-
delays and stuff. But this was something that I've always realized. I remembered back, they always talked about this. There's always something weird about Buck and how he always turns the team around for a year. Always has one good year, except for the Yankees, of course.
Right.
He always has like one good year with the franchise.
This is a good solid run in Baltimore right here.
Yeah.
93.
I don't think it's Buck. I don't think it's Buck.
I don't think it's Buck. I can't get over the fact that he's only won one playoff series. So I think this might be to compare it to the Islanders, a Lou Trotz thing where it's like I need an adult in the room for a couple of years to get things on track, and then we can get the guy that we actually want. Lane Lambert is not that person, but I don't know.
Could finally
I have a feeling it's Eric Chavez. Yeah, I have a feeling it's Eric Chavez that we actually want to be the manager.
Well, if we're doing it like the Islanders and Lou and Trotz, then we're not going to have Eric Chavez do it because the guy
it didn't work.
Islanders shows is not the right guy.
Correct, but there's just again, like I said, Starling Marte, he's clearly injured, or he just doesn't want to run anymore because he was hurt last year. I don't know what it is. If he's banged up, put him on the DL and let Mark Vientos come up. You can't get thrown out there as the guy who already doesn't like stealing bases because he isn't good at it. You can't get thrown out there with 2, 3, 4 in your order up. Because even if Marte fucking strikes out, Lindor is up, Alonso's up. If that something happens,
the facts we got swept by the Tigers is alarming.
He got swept, and like today's game in a vacuum, sure. Eduardo Rodriguez is a good pitcher, so like it's not the end of the world there. Max, I'm honestly afraid he might be done.
It's been since last September.
The problem, and this is, I don't know. Last year, the argument when he shit the bed in the playoff game was he was still hurt. But his first game off the DL, he was throwing a perfect game. So which is it? And then it also always looks worse. This is just a thing. His bugaboo when he's off, whatever guys have tells when they're off, he gives up a lot of homers. So it just looks worse when your runs are homers.
Yeah, I think he's given up like 12 home runs in
but
this
even
span.
you can go back and look at Cy Young Max. He gave up like 20 homers in
Right.
the season. It's
Listen,
just
you want to see the positive. It's like Verlander came out, got the first guy, gave up back-to-back home runs, and then shut it down. Shut down the rest of the day.
He figured it out. I give him a lot
off.
more slack because he was actually hurt.
Right. And
Not
you know
that
what?
Max
You
wasn't.
didn't sign Verlander to win you a game in the beginning of May like you needed him to.
And
you signed Verlander because at the end of the day, Verlander is a postseason pitcher.
Well, it's not really, but I do want to pull up the standings really quick
No.
because while they don't matter and it's May, you can look around at other teams that are supposed to be good. The Houston Astros are 16 and 15. The Mets are 16 and 16. The Cardinals are
Their
10 and
tails-
20 are 10
Yeah.
and 22. The Dodgers figured it out. The Padres are 17 and 15. So it's very much not the end of the world.
It's not. It's just the frustrating of vibes because we had such a good West Coast trip, and then we
Correct.
decided to suck against the Nats.
And the Tigers.
The Braves are the Braves, and then got
Right.
swept by the Tigers, and it's just like
We
the hell?
said it in our previous show. The Braves are the class of the end of the National League.
Yeah. Well,
No.
that was the thing with Diaz and the thing with Correa was like when they had those two guys, or almost
Right.
had those two guys, to me, it put them above the Braves. You lose Correa, now you're back in line. You lose Diaz, now you're behind them. That's just the way it is. And I went Friday night. I think I told you guys. I went Friday night, the night of the Islander game that they lost. I've never wanted to leave a baseball game more. I had absolutely no interest in being at this game. And part of it was because it was a playoff hockey game, and part of it was because it was raining. But it was just, even in the stadium, it was just a blah vibe.
It's a weird something. They got to get the juju right. There's
I
something.
don't know what it is.
I have no idea what it is. It's just something is not. I don't know.
Somebody needs to get fired, or they need to do something. I don't know. Something crazy needs to happen.
Maybe it's time to move on from, Jeremy Hefner and realize that
I need like a Vogelbag inside the park home run. That like something nuts.
Well, he did braid his hair. That was
that's
weird.
not nuts enough.
I need
blonde
his
hair.
leg
We
to
all
like
have to- we
snap
have to
so
go back
that
to the
way
blonde hair.
Vientos could just come here and be here.
Yeah, Vogelbag stinks. I mean,
Thing with Vientos is the minute he gets called up, he's not going to do anything.
I know.
Yeah,
But-
but that's because they won't play him every day until
Well,
they realize and be like, wait, maybe we should play this guy every day
Right.
like we do with Beatty, and then it'll hit.
That's
Oh,
the
crazy.
the other thing is you can't tell me you're trying for a World Series. Like this is a lot of the Twitter conversation is call everybody up, but also like they're gonna be a contender. No, you can't call up three guys from the minors and think they're gonna play every day and then think you're gonna win 95 games. That's not those they don't correlate unless all three of them are Rookie of the Year candidates.
God, Vin. Oh, look, optimism. Jimmy Butler is going to play Saturday because he has a 10-day grace period between
Of
ankle
course,
injuries.
he's gonna play Saturday. Game
Well,
two
he's gonna look-
it's like the
he's gonna
fucking
look good
national
like
championship
Randall.
in football.
Yeah, but also game 2 was looking at like, all right, we won game 1. Jimmy
Right.
rests the ankle for game 3.
This team didn't go to the World Series. Okay, the Phillies were pretty freaking good.
Yeah, but they didn't get good until
That's true.
June.
Well, that's the thing. It does happen a lot, and starting off hot didn't work. So let's try not starting off hot. I
Yeah.
guess.
we've had too many years where we started off with 10-game winning streaks, and,
And
we're
also-
like, oh, we're getting ready for the playoffs, and then next thing you
Right.
know, it's
The other three
what day's the
teams
draft?
in our division that went to the World Series recently got off to horrible starts.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Well, that's the other thing that I always go back to, and it's the curse of this franchise, is that every time they've ever won anything ever, it's after they were terrible. Or it's 1986 and they were down to the final out, down by 2 in the 10th inning, and yada, yada, yada. There has to be almost insurmountable odds for the Mets to do anything.
Anybody see Bryce Harper's mechanical arm?
No, I did not.
That's bullshit. You're telling me they could suspend Max Scherzer for sticky stuff and Bryce Harper isn't on steroids? That's what you're telling me right now? Bullshit.
He's
That
also
man's-
wearing a freaking
He always wore some kind of armor, but like
no. This is armor.
is he like, up there like a knight in shiny armor? I really wish somebody tried to hit like that.
Let's see if I can find a good. Oh, here's a good picture of it.
Like is it like Bond's armor? Oh, that's
Yeah.
just cast. He's just wearing a cast.
Yeah.
What are we doing here, guy?
How do you bend the elbow with that thing?
I don't think you do.
Yeah.
How's he gonna hit like that?
Well, he's batting 429 since he's back for this whole
Oh,
week.
okay.
So
Well, he's a mutant.
He looks very, very jacked.
Well, the arm, the cast.
I'm talking
is
about
like,
his like chest and his other arm.
Isn't it funny that like
Well, he can only
football
lift one
offensive
arm.
linemen
He
wear
just did
that same
everything on
brace
one
on their
arm.
arm with a broken arm when they play?
That
through
is
it?
true. Yeah.
Thomas does wear that. Yeah.
Right. It's like that's just normal. That is the best with offensive linemen, where it's like it's almost an advantage if you break your hand. Like, yeah, put the club on it. Just punch a guy in the head. No
I
problem.
had to wear one. It wasn't fun.
A club.
Yeah.
Good times.
Best is when the linebackers do it and they just start
Oh
swatting.
yeah,
at
they
football.
just punching balls out. It's great. It's an advantage. Break your hand. It's an advantage.
Speaking of broken hands, we didn't mention him earlier. McKinney going on to his final year of his contract.
Yeah.
Duggan did make a good point about him. I meant to bring up earlier. With him, the advantage they're going to have is they'll have the tag available for him next season.
Yeah, I could see him getting tagged.
So he could get tagged and then worked out a deal. They don't have to worry about it with the cap issues for this year.
We're taking
And I'm sure
David
that
McKinney.
and he even said, I'm sure the conversation already happened of, we're going to sign you. It's just we don't have the cap space. To sign
Just
you.
imagine if he didn't have the accident. That
Then
hurt
you would
his
have to sign him right
a
now.
lot of money.
You would have to sign him right now if he had.
I didn't think he was at the tag level, but I guess it's just a
next year.
a
Next year,
holding
this
spot.
is his 4th year.
No,
This is year 4, and he's the.
He was a second round pick, right?
He was a
Yeah,
second round pick, so there's no option.
Right.
They traded up to get him. Yeah. Actually, did they trade up to him?
Did
Maybe.
they?
I don't
Who's
remember.
the guards, Danny.
We had the 4th pick of the 2nd round, so we might have not had to.
Who's the guards this season?
Guards, it's going to be either Zudu and Glowinski, or it's going to be Glowinski at right, and then either
Brenson.
Zudo, Lemieux,
And Brenston.
Bredesen probably starts now. Yeah, it'll probably be Bredesen or Zudu.
Kind of do the rotate like they've been doing.
Yeah, like they'll give it to Zudu because he's young enough, but Bredesen did play good last year. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Anywho, may the 4th be with all of you.
Mm-hmm. It's my background. It's always my background, but it's extra special today.
Huh, good. Hey, Peter Quill.
Yeah.
I had no idea how this works.
Or you pull Mincy.
We can't do that, Danny.
Unreal.
I'm honestly that guy did nothing, so he deserved to get his. He deserved to lose his job.
What are you doing?
Mincy, what a fucking do to do.
Well, with that being said, everybody, have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.